Hi everyone! Welcome to our first live chat. We're the Edinburgh Napier University International Student Ambassadors. I'm here to answer all your questions about your arrival here in Edinburgh. My name is Shelly Schofield. I am from the United States, a state called Utah, and I am doing a master's degree here in international marketing. And this is Collins.
Yes, my name is Collins OVA, and I'm also a student ambassador here, studying MBA, Master's in Business Administration, 2 years and full time. Yes, I'm from Nigeria, Lagos City. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're happy to answer all your questions, so make sure you comment. Don't be shy. We're monitoring the comments, so we'll hopefully get to your questions. If we don't, for some reason, we'll contact you, or you can also email us, and all that information is on our Facebook page. So we're just going to go ahead and start with a couple of student questions that we've already received, and then as you start to pop in questions, we will get to those. So we have two questions from Saurabh from India. Sorry if I got your name wrong, but I'm sure you're great. You're asking about part-time work and also accommodations near campus. Do you had a part-time job for initially, right?
Yes, I did when I first came here. And I worked for about 20 hours because that is the maximum hours we're supposed to work during sometimes. So, and that was last year, and I haven't worked since then. So it was easy to find though. But
how did you get that job?
a friend referred me to a place off to work, and I went there. I just went for the interview. It was what's this called again? Waiter. So I worked as a waiter. Yeah.
Huh?
So during Christmas and New Year period, so it was fun and it was very okay. So I did it for a while, and I just stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some things we know, like Collins mentioned, that it's most of the time for people who are outside of the EU, you can only work for 20 hours a week. And so there are a lot of options for students to work in retail, at pubs and restaurants apparently.
Yeah, restaurants, then events, because during Christmas and New Year period, there's so many events in Edinburgh, festivals and the rest of them, so they need people to cover up and serve food, serve drinks, and usual hospitality jobs later.
Oh yeah, especially that makes sense because Edinburgh is called the Festival City. So there are always events going on, especially in August. If you come a little bit before school starts, there's called the Fringe Festival, and I'm sure that I've heard that they have all kinds of opportunities for students to help and get some part-time work going.
Yeah.
You could also become a student ambassador.
Yeah. And this is actually my major work right now. Because, yeah.
Me too. This is my part-time job. It's fun, but it's not like, it's a few hours a week maybe, so it's not necessarily supportive for a part-time job if you need to have some extra income.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question. If you have more questions, comment or get in touch with us. And we have another student coming. Her name is Sharon Madala from India, and she's asking about several things, but we'll start with the first one, airport arrival. So this is probably a question that a lot of you have since you'll all be coming. Do you have anything to say about that?
Airport arrival, I think it's very easy for them to be picked up. We have to register on the website. We'll tell you the dates which we pick people from the airport, and you register, and we have you picked. But I wasn't picked because I didn't register.
Yeah.
They actually dates for that like 2-3 days during the period, so you just have to know when exactly we are picking people from the airport, and you get yourself registered. We'll pick you from the airport to your accommodation. I think that's what we do.
Yeah. So those dates actually are September 7th through 9th.
Yeah.
So we're offering free transportation from the airport to your accommodation on those days. So if you're arriving September 7th through the 9th, then make sure you register with us and we'll help you get to your accommodation, which is actually really great. I didn't use that service because I came on the wrong dates.
Yes, I didn't as well. So just note the date, September 7th and 9th, right? Okay, 2 days, just 2 days, yeah.
Through, I think it's the 3 days, so
Okay,
7th,
3
8th,
days.
and 9th.
Oh, that's cool, 3 days. So just book your tickets for September 7th, 8th, or 9th. No, you'll be picked from the airport. That's it.
Yeah. Let's see, my experience coming into the Edinburgh airport, I actually had my sister travel with me. She helped bring my luggage since I had a lot of luggage because, you know, moving here for a year, you get worried that you're going to not be able to have access to things that you like and are used to. So she came with me and we took a taxi. The taxis are really simple to use at the airport. There's signs that lead you right there. And where I'm from, taxis aren't really a thing. So I didn't know what to expect. So here they have big taxis. So you can fit like 5 to 7 people in a taxi, which like I'm used to what I see on TV. So it's like New York yellow cab taxi where there's only 2 people in the back seat, you know? So I was like, how's this gonna work with all my luggage? But they have these big vans that can fit all your suitcases, fit people, and take you where you need to go. And it's not too expensive. I think from the airport to where I live in Morningside was about £20. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. My case is different because I just came here with my backpack.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very
No,
different.
I'm serious. No, I'm different. The guys are different. You know, we travel light. I travel light. Personally, I travel light. I don't like to carry lots of luggages. No, I don't know. Just me. And I also took the big taxi from the airport, and from the airport down to Longstone, it was £12 that day.
Oh.
Yeah. So I shared with a friend actually. So
Yeah.
yeah, we split the money. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's just different for me.
Yeah, so there are other ways to get around from the airport. There is an air shuttle, which is a bus that takes you to the main part of the town, and then from there you can take a bus out to other parts of the city.
Yeah.
So that is included in your Ride-A-Card. So we'll talk a little bit about the Ride-A-Card. It's for a monthly fee of about $42. I actually think it went up because I bought mine yesterday.
Oh, you bought it yesterday?
And it was $48.
Oh.
So now it's £48 a month, which is still much less than regular price. That's the student price. And so I find it very useful. I use the bus on a daily basis, and that's how I get around, my main mode of transportation. I also walk, but I live about 45-minute walk from my campus, so I usually take the bus.
Yes, for me, from my campus to my home is just 20-minute walk.
Oh yeah.
So I don't subscribe to bus pass. Though I have it, you know, in case of emergencies or whenever I need it, but I just walk from my house down to the airport and to the university. And I think we have a comment here from one Frederica Utoli. Hey guys, thank you for sharing your experience with us. What's your favorite place in Edinburgh? What do you normally do in your free time?
Oh, what do we do in our free time?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so where I live in Morningside, there's a recreational type of area. It's for hikes, walking.
Yeah.
And it's called Blackford Hill.
Blackford Hill.
Yeah. Do you go there?
Just behind my house. I live on Morningside as well.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So Blackford Hill is just behind my house, and
you know,
I take my walk there, and it's a very, very fine place, very, very beautiful place, and the whole of Edinburgh is very beautiful. You know, everywhere is beautiful, and there are gardens everywhere, and there is no dull moment here. You know, and that is one of my most favorite places because I just walk from my house down to Blackford Hill. It's 3 minutes walk from my house.
Wow, we live really close.
Yeah, very close. Yeah.
Other things that I like to do around Edinburgh, I always like to find new places to eat, especially fish and chips. That's my favorite thing, my favorite food here. And not all chippy, they're called chippies. Not all chippies are created equal.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them are as good as some. So my flatmate and I are always on the lookout for a new chippy. We found one really close to our house.
I think I found a very good one. Yes, was it yesterday? Oh, 2 days before.
Which one?
It was at Ocean Terminal.
Oh.
It's called Homemade Burger.
Oh,
Yeah,
and it's a
homemade
chippy?
burger. I don't know if it's chippy. But it's very cool. It's very cool because they make it there. And when you make your order, and you have to wait for like 10 minutes for them to just make it for you specially. And it's actually very cool, and it's cheap. You know, they have student discounts as well.
Oh.
Yeah, Ocean Terminal, 4th floor. Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to show me where that is.
Yeah.
Other things to do around Edinburgh, there's a lot of history here. So if you go down to Old Town in the main kind of touristy area, the old part of Edinburgh, there's so much to do. I had some friends come visit me and we went to Mary King's Close, which is kind of an underground tour. It takes you like back in time during plague times, and it's really fun and interesting. There's a lot of Harry Potter stuff to see. J.K. Rowling wrote the books here, so we get a lot of...
Yeah, J.K. Rowling, now we need to tell them the book. They don't know the author, but maybe they don't know the book. They're talking about... I forgot the title of the book again.
Of Harry Potter?
Yeah, Harry Potter, yeah. You know, yeah. So, yeah. I think we have another question here.
Okay.
Hi there, what is the best way to find a flat share in Edinburgh, and what part of the city is nice to live in for students? That's from Wee Brenner.
Okay, what is a flash drive?
Yeah, flat share.
Oh, flat share.
In Edinburgh, and what part of the city is nice to live in for students?
So flat share, there are some Facebook pages that do flat shares, so we can put those up on our Facebook page, and you can check that out.
Yeah.
Another way that some people do is they come to Edinburgh, they get an Airbnb or a hotel or something for the first couple of weeks, and then when you start to meet people in your classes, you can kind of figure out who might need accommodation and you can live with them. I had a friend come who didn't have a place, and once she got here, she started looking, because you want to be really careful about getting a flat here, because you don't want to sign in to anything before you actually see it.
I think that is very important, people. You need to take that into great consideration, because my first 6 months in Edinburgh, I lived in 4 different apartments.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm in my 4th apartment just now,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because the first place I got was the wrong place for me, and you know, Edinburgh, the weather here is quite different from where I came from, and it was actually very cold that period, and the heating, I had a problem with the heating. They don't put the heating on. It was really cold at night, even with my duvet and all of that. So I left that flat to a second place, and that place wasn't so comfortable for me to. I had to leave, and I'm in my 4th place just now. So the best thing to do, just like Shelly said, come here, get a place to stay for a while, and so, you know, find a very good place for yourself. I think we have another question here, Shelly.
Okay, great.
It's from Dominic Bramwell. Hey, how is it easy to find a part-time job here in Edinburgh and that fits around students and visa limitations?
Okay, so yeah, we did sort of mention that at the beginning of the video, so you might want to go back and check that out once this is posted after we're done.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of options for part-time work. I know I have a friend who works at Starbucks, another who works at a restaurant, one who works at a shoe retailing store. So there is options for you. I think that the hour limitations are different according to where you're coming from. I'm from the United States, so my limitation is 20 hours.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 20 hours. Yeah, your time work is 20 hours. Yeah. So I think, yeah. We have another question. Should we take it?
Yeah.
All right, it's from Zuck Thomas. Thomas is asking, he wants to know about campus accommodation and students accommodation, which is cheaper. Like, is it campus accommodation cheaper? Or
I think that it depends. It depends on where you live in the city. It's gonna cost different.
Exactly.
And
like where we live is
yeah. So where we live is probably a little more expensive.
It's expensive.
It's a really posh part of town.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what you want and what you're looking for. So
I think we should just give them the rough estimate, because somebody else is asking here how much is student accommodation outside of the university.
So maybe we'll put on our Facebook page, or we'll add to the comments here the link to student accommodation, and you can look on there and see.
Yeah. Yes, just the last one from Matilda. Hi there, I'm from Norway and I'm very excited to start at Edinburgh Napier this fall. What can we expect from the social environment at the school as an international student? Are there any special events?
Oh, that's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
Do you have something to say.
I think you should start first.
Okay, yeah, I'll start. So the student environment, the social environment at school, at uni, school means elementary school here. At uni, the social environment is really awesome because it's so international. That is something that I was told but didn't really get until I started going to my classes, where I'm maybe one of 2 or 3 people from North America, and there's maybe 2 or 3 people from Scotland, and then the rest are from everywhere. We have Germans, Polish people, we have Spain,
India.
we have where?
India.
India, yeah. We have
Jamaica too.
everywhere, yeah.
Oh, everywhere, just everywhere.
It's
yeah.
really great because it enriches your experience. In my program, we did a lot of group work, and so I worked with people from all over the world, and it was really interesting. And I feel like that's something that when I go back to the States is going to be a competitive edge for me, because my degree is international marketing. So to have that international experience, I think is really unique to Edinburgh Napier.
Yeah.
And I really like it.
It's good. Yeah, Shelly, there is a question here. I don't think we have the answer to it. It's from Julie. Julie Waramba. How easy is it to get a permanent job there after finishing your studies? I don't think we have answers to that question.
Well, that's a question I'm asking as well. So I'm finishing my dissertation in the end of August, and then I'm going back to the States to find a job. And there are some resources. I know that the university has some, I can't remember what it's called, but they have...
Yes, My Future.
Oh yeah,
My Future. I'm always on My Future. My Future is a very resourceful site, and from there you get the vacancies being advertised, and you can get a job from there.
So they do. You can go talk to the My Futures team.
Yeah. And
they do have fairs, I guess you'd call them, every once in a while, where employers will come in and you can chat with them and see what opportunities are available. If we don't have any live questions, I have a few.
Yes, there are live questions here, but just one of them, and I think we've answered it before. This is from Eladiya Olukunle. This is a Nigerian, I think so. I have been given admission for September 10, 2018. I want to ask about accommodation and how much it will cost me. I think we've covered that already. Yeah, so go ahead and when we get off this live video, you can replay it and see what we've said about that. We said that before, yeah, and we'll be posting that in the comments or on our page, so you can check that out. There's a lot of information there for you. Yes, and Priscilla also wants to know. Hi, my name is Priscilla. I'm from Nigeria. Hello. Hey. How is the climate condition at Edinburgh, and also the transportation system to school and city centre? Oh yeah, do you want to take that? I think so. Priscilla, if you live in Lagos, the climate there is 34 degrees, and if you're coming from the northern Nigeria, it's 42 degrees. But here, right now, it's just 13 degrees, or 13 or 12. And that's because it's summer. I do Fahrenheit, so it's 50, 55, 60 degrees. Yes. And in the UK here, in Scotland here, right now is about 15 or 14 degrees, and that is because it's summer. But when it's not summer, you can get to as low as 5 degrees, 10 degrees, minus 10 degrees, minus 5 degrees. It's pretty cold here, Priscilla, so you have to get ready. It's cold here. It's actually cold here. Very cold sometimes, most times very cold. And windy too as well. Yes, the wind is what gets you. Even if the temperature is okay, the wind can make it colder. Exactly. Where I'm from, it actually gets colder than here. I'm from a place where it snows all winter long. Oh, really? Where's that? Utah. Oh, Utah. So it's not, for me, it's not as cold, but it is different because the wind is a factor and the humidity is a factor for me. I'm from a dry desert area. So some ideas for how to combat Scotland weather is to bring layers, because it might rain in the morning and then it might be sunny in the afternoon. Exactly. And if you're walking around the city, you need to be able to kind of regulate what you're wearing. So bring layerable items.
You also want to make sure you have rain protection.
Yeah.
So bring shoes that are waterproof. I would suggest shoes that are like sneakers or trainers
yeah, something like
that
this.
are
Yeah.
that are waterproof. Maybe
Waterproof,
lift up
yeah.
your foot so you can see.
Something like this,
So not necessarily big wellies or rain boots, but just waterproof sneakers or trainers
Exactly,
was
yeah.
something that I thought was.
Yeah, something very flexible, something very comfortable with, and so I think that's.
One other thing I want to mention. The thing that was most difficult for me when I was adjusting to living in Scotland was during the winter, the sun doesn't come out very much. So you get about 6-ish hours of daylight during the winter, so the sun will come up about
Exactly.
9 a.m. and set about 3:30. And you don't expect it, but it does play a factor on your mood. And
Exactly.
so I would
Exactly,
suggest getting what's called a seasonal affective disorder lamp, a SAD lamp. It's just a light that helps to like refuel your body because it's lacking the natural sunlight that it's used to.
Exactly, and also vitamin D supplements, yeah. Because what she's saying is, once it's 3:30 in the afternoon, it gets dark here in Scotland during winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think yesterday it got dark around 11 p.m.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yes.
The opposite is really fun.
Yeah, exactly. At 11 p.m., so even after 11 o'clock, it was still very bright.
Yeah.
I was outside here. So, but it's different during winter. At 3:30, 4 o'clock, it's already dark in Edinburgh here. I think we have another question.
Okay.
Hi, I'm from Pakistan. I'm very excited to start at Edinburgh. How easy is it to get a job after completed education? Bashirat Ali. I think we read it.
Yeah, so go back and watch what we've said. There's resources the university has to help you fix up your resume or your CV and to help you find opportunities.
Yeah, and also there's a funny question here from Asvar Rasul. Guys, I want to ask, how do we have to ask for official consultant for visa process? Guys, I want you ask, sorry, it's not very clear. Yeah. Okay, so
Visa process, is that the question?
Yeah.
So we actually, maybe I advise you to email our international team. That's something that we have just chosen to not discuss during this live one. We're thinking more arrivals, your experience here when you get here.
Yeah.
And so if you want to, we have definitely information for you. So make sure you contact us in an email and we'll get back to you.
And there's another interesting question from Zach Thomas. What flight out options are there from Edinburgh Airport? Can you fly to anywhere in Europe or via another airport?
Oh yeah. Have you gone anywhere?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, where have you gone?
Yes, I've been to Germany, in different places in Germany, as a matter of fact, and France as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite easy. So I got a Schengen visa, it's just 3-month visa, and for me it was free. I didn't have to pay for it because I went to the university. So it was the education visa. So I just used that to explore, and it was very easy for me and very cool. I visited so many places in Germany, from Gießen to Hamburg to Lisch. Is it Lisch or Lisch? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Then to Frankfurt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was very easy and.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Yeah.
It's awesome, actually.
I think you've been to many places as well.
Yeah, so I went to Berlin, and I've been to Copenhagen. I made a little list. Let me read for you. I went to Prague about 2 weeks ago, which was awesome. And I've been down to like London, and it's really great. There's some cheap airlines like EasyJet and Ryan Airlines that can get you out to the European continent.
And Eurowings as well. It's also
I haven't flown Eurowings, but yeah, so it's very accessible to get around, and it's much cheaper than at least flying in the United States. That's my experience.
Yeah, I think there's another question here from Vanessa Georgina. Hi, I'm from Bulgaria, and I will be a student in your university next autumn. Which accommodation is the nearest to Criglock campus? That's the first question. The second question is, how many lectures are there each week, and how long do they last?
Okay.
Lectures each week.
Do you want to answer that one?
Yes, for me it's different because my lectures are just Mondays and Tuesdays, and Wednesday is tutorial, and lectures are just 2 hours each lecture is 2 hours.
Do you still have classes right now?
No, of course not. I'm on holiday.
Okay. My lectures were different. So mine is in 3 trimesters. And so my first trimester and my second trimester had different timetables or schedules. And I'm currently in the summer, my 3rd trimester, where I'm just doing my dissertation. So I don't have any classes. Something that's different for me coming here to study is in the United States, you get to pick your classes, you get to pick what time they are, and which teacher you get.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but here it's different. You come on your first day and they give you your timetable, and then that's how that works.
All right. Lisa Lickham, hello, I come from France, and I don't understand if I need a visa for 4 years or if my passport is enough. It's enough. No, she doesn't. Okay. All right. Lisa, we are going to get back to you on this personally. All right. Yeah. Okay, there is a question here from Zach Thomas. Zach Thomas, he's been asking a lot of questions.
Oh, good.
Any must-see attractions in Scotland?
Sorry, what?
Any must-see attractions in Scotland?
Must-see attractions in Scotland, the country, not Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Have you? I've been all around. So what?
Yes, I've been to many places. I've been to Fort William, is a must-see island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fort William, Oban is a must-see place.
Oh, Oban, yes.
Yes, I've been to Oban and Fort William. I've been to Loch Lomond. It's a very, very interesting place.
The Bonnie Banks
of
exactly.
And other places too. I've forgotten the names, but I know I've been around. St. Andrews as well.
Oh yeah. I would say St. Andrews.
St. Andrews. Yeah. Then there's a place called Kingsbourne. It's very close to St. Andrews.
Oh, I haven't been there.
You need to go there.
Okay.
And they have the best fish and chips in Scotland.
Yeah. Some other places I've been to, the ones that I affirmed, yeah. And I would say Skye is probably the biggest attraction to Scotland. Isle of Skye, yeah. Very beautiful. Also, other places that I've been to the Isle of Iona, which is where Christianity was introduced to Scotland. It's really cool. And just off the Isle of Iona, actually, is this place called the Isle of Staffa. And it has Fingal's Cave, which has it's basalt columns. It's kind of like the Giant's Causeway, if you know about that in Ireland. It's really cool. That was one of the coolest things I have ever done. So I would suggest going there. It's not accessible all year round though, so look it up.
And there's a question here from Julie. How much approximately do you need for living expenses?
Oh, if I were better at budgeting, I'd have a better answer for you right off the top of my head. What do you think?
I think there is a stipulated amount for living wage or living expenses. I think it's about 9,000 though. Is it 9,000?
Well, I know for your visa application, you have to prove that you have about £1,015 per month is what they kind of
I can't remember now.
say. But you can obviously live less expensively or more expensively.
Exactly.
But some ideas about like milk is like £1.40 for
milk.
To give some living expensive ideas.
Okay.
So milk is £1.40 for a pint, I think.
No, a pint is 50p.
Oh no, sorry. What's the medium-sized one, bigger than that?
1 liter.
1 liter. Yeah. What else? So it's different here because like dairy, cheese and stuff is cheap.
Cheap.
In the United States, cheese is expensive. So
it's expensive. But
it's
vegetables
different types of
expensive
things.
as well.
Yeah.
Because I try to live off vegetables, and when I try it, I just spend all my money. It's very expensive. Vegetables are expensive, but other things are very cheap here. And apart from that, you get coupons. I also get coupons as well. Yes, I get coupons from here and there, and when I use my coupons, I pay cheaper.
Oh.
Yes. Right now I have coupons for McDonald's and. So instead of 480 meal, I get it for 199. So.
Okay. So you can.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
Let's see. Let's think of some other things like the bus fare. A single ride bus fare is £1.70. A day pass is £4.
A day pass is £4. A single ride is £1.70. £1.70.
Yeah. you can get like, I'm trying to think of just regular things. I don't pay super attention. But if you can also shop at certain places that are much less expensive. For like example, grocery stores or supermarkets, Aldi and Lidl.
Yeah.
They're the way to go on a student budget.
Yeah.
There's also Waitrose and Sainsbury's and Tesco. Those are good, but they're a little more pricey.
Yeah.
So you need to find your fellow students will tell you where to go and they'll know all the ways to live a less expensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a question here from Atahok. No, I don't think that is the spelling. It's in another language. Hi, I would like to ask you about the start date of the university. Is the start date the same for all courses as well? Or are we supposed to come a few days before the start date? So I think we need to...
Do you want me to take that one?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so it depends on what your experience is, what you want to do. Because I came about a week before induction day. So induction day could also be called orientation, where you have a day with your program leader. They kind of tell you how the year is going to go and what to expect. And so that's your first day where you need to be here, and you'll get an email about that telling you when it is. It's different for every program, so it's specific to you. So you'll get an email and they'll tell you when to come. And so you can decide from there what day would be best for you to arrive. I came about a week before that day, so that I could set up my flat, fill my house with groceries, and just so I could feel settled before I started uni. And also so I could go somewhere, since I mentioned before my sister came with me when I moved out, and so we had planned to go do a Harry Potter tour in the city, and she wanted to do all the Harry Potter stuff, so then we went to Alnwick Castle where they filmed some of it. And so I came a week early just to be able to get myself comfortable, get over the jet lag, so that when I started induction day, I was feeling ready to go.
All right. I didn't meet the induction day. I came after induction.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. So I came after induction. So can we take some questions now?
Oh yeah, so we didn't finish all of Sharon's questions from India. So she wanted to learn about registering with the doctor and getting insurance.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that I've gotten insurance, but I did register with the doctor. And how they do it is by where you live. So where you live has a doctor's office assigned to it. So I think you can go on to the NHS, the National Health System, I think it is.
I don't think you registered. No, I think it's very simple. First of all, you need to get a letter from the university, like introduction letter from the university.
Okay.
And then that's the first one. Then the second is...
Is this insurance or health?
Health.
Oh, because I didn't have to do that.
Really?
Mm-mm. I didn't have to prove I was a student.
Yeah.
I don't think. Did you?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Different
Yes,
experience.
I did. Different, yeah. So I just got a letter, then they went there, and I just got registered after a few days, 2 days or something like that.
Oh, okay. So you had to prove your student.
Yeah.
I actually didn't. So
Okay.
I had to go on the NHS website, find the doctor's office where I was assigned according to where I lived, and then I went to that place and they gave me all the paperwork to fill out. And
So mine is different, yeah.
oh, well, there you go. 2 different ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other questions, or should we go on?
Just now, no, just go on with it.
Okay, yeah. So Sharon also had another question about safety here in Edinburgh. And I was actually thinking just the other day how safe I feel in Edinburgh. There isn't much, there's nothing really that scares me. I also don't go out late at night, so I don't experience that. But I feel very comfortable walking around the streets, and I haven't had any problems. What about you?
No, I haven't had any problems. When I first came, I was a night walker. No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't walk late at night, and because the place was very safe for me, and it was a very good time for me to walk at night, and like 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm still outside, and it's very safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like anywhere, you could run into something, but I think mostly, sometimes I've traveled home from the airport late at night and I haven't felt uncomfortable waiting at the bus stop on Princess Street, the main area of the town. So I feel like it's very safe. I don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, safe, very safe.
Yeah, okay, well let's talk about, I know that we had this question from Obi from Nigeria.
Yeah.
He wanted to know about getting a bank account. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I do. Oh, yes. I have a bank account with Barclays Bank.
Barclays, yeah.
Barclays, yeah, and that is very simple for me because when I went to Barclays, they just gave me appointments the following day, and it was easy for me to get an account with Barclays, and that's it.
Okay, yeah, so I decided to go with HSBC.
Okay.
Mostly because my flatmate, I came here, she had already lived here for a year, so she kind of had some experiences, and her uni friends had also had other experiences, and she told me that HSBC was the way to go, and I feel like it's been great. I haven't had any bad experiences with them. How you get a bank account though is interesting. You need to get a letter from the uni declaring that you're a student, and then you need to go to the bank of your choice and get an appointment and they'll tell you I think you have to bring your passport and a proof of address, I think, and then they'll go through the process. It takes, I would say, a few weeks at least to get a bank account, so that would be something you should do pretty quick when you get here.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a question here from the same person. I'm going to live in the campus of the university. So I think it's a question. He's not an English person.
Okay.
Am I going to live in the campus of the university? And I am confused. Do I have to bring things with me like cutlery, pillows, and etc.?
Oh.
Okay, like he wants to know if he's going to live on the campus or he's going to get his own accommodation or something. And if he's going to live on the campus, is he bringing his own pillows, cutlery, and the rest of that?
That is a good question. I actually live off campus. I live in private accommodation, so my experience was different, but I do believe they provide basic like towels, linens for your bed, and I think that they have a shared kitchen area. I haven't actually been to one, but from what my uni friends say, they have a shared kitchen area, which I honestly am not sure if they have the cutlery and things there. So if you want to email us, we can find that out for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, so just email us and we'll give you the right information about that, because we don't live on student accommodation. We live outside. No, we don't live on. Yeah.
If we don't have any questions, I just
we
want
have
to keep
questions
encouraging
here.
you.
We have questions,
Oh, okay, sorry.
There are questions we've already answered.
Oh.
This is from Johnny. I asked about the probability of a master's student getting a job after the course has been finished.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for questions about that, why don't you email us, and we can direct you to the right people who can help answer that question.
Yes, and there's another one from Alfred James. Morning, my name is Alfred Olaoluwa James from Nigeria. Please, how can the school help to get job during schooling and visa extension after completing the course studied?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so for those visa and job questions, email us or contact us through Facebook, and we'll direct you.
And there is another one here from Tonya. Hi, I'm currently studying at Edinburgh Napier University, and I can tell you that the public transportation is superb. Okay, I think it's a comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a comment. Yes. I'm currently studying at Edinburgh University, and I can tell you that the public transportation is superb. You have lots of choices, and available buses runs even up to early morning. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so there are night buses. During the day, the buses are much more frequent, and there are more lines running. But during the night, they do have what's called a night bus.
Night bus, and just like they run like 45 hours or 1 hour, at intervals, and it doesn't sleep. They don't sleep here. We don't sleep here. The city is always awake and alive 24/7. Yeah. So, and Tahak still wants to know: is it more expensive to live in the campus or rent a house?
Yeah. Depends on where you live. So check out our housing. We have like housing website. Email us.
Yes. Just email us or check out the university website. You will see something like that. But from my experience, the first place I got here was $350. My first apartment here in Edinburgh was £350 per month, and that includes the bills as well.
Oh.
Yeah, but Morningside it's like 500, 520.
Yeah.
So that's how much you pay on Morningside. 500
plus the bills, utility, right?
Plus utility, plus bills and all. So it's different. It depends on where you stay, but I don't think you can get any place less than 300 or 350 in Edinburgh. I don't think so.
I agree.
I think the minimum you should have in mind is 350, and a 350 apartment is not a place you would like to live in for a long time because it won't be very comfortable for you.
Yeah.
So if you want a very comfortable place, you must be ready to spend your money, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like anything, if you pay less, you get less. If you pay more, you get more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Zach also wants to know, how much time would you spend in class per week?
Oh, it might be different for you than for me. How much did you?
And for Zach, it's different because you are coming here to study. You are expected to spend at least 60 hours of your time. Studying, 20 hours in class per week and another 40 hours reading your books. So it depends on what you're studying. For me, a class is just like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, not more than 3 hours. And each week is about 9 hours of lectures.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, that's because it's a master's program.
Yeah, so I honestly don't dedicate 40 hours a week to reading my studies. You are a great example. I also have about 9 hours a week of class or lecture tutorials, and then I spent a good amount of time, maybe like 15 hours a week apart from that. And then I have other things that I participate in the community. I do like a choir, that I'm part of the Edinburgh Napier choir.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so we have concerts every once in a while, and I also am part of a church here that I do things with.
Right, for me, I only volunteer. I volunteer with Edinburgh Street Pastors, and all we do is we go to the homeless, we give them clothes, we give them food, and give them things to make them feel alive and all. So that's all I do with my time here.
Nice.
Yeah. I think we should go back to our questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me look through. Why don't we talk about the student card, the Edinburgh Napier student card? That is something that is really handy. It gets you into the building when it's after hours. It also helps you work things like the printer, and on the student card is connected to the iNapier app, which is an app that you can look at your grades, you can contact other students through email, you can connect with Moodle. Moodle is an online, well, how would you explain
It's an
Moodle?
application. It's a mobile application that's, you mean Moodle?
Moodle, yeah.
Yeah, your Moodle is where you have your courses, your courses, your materials, your course materials. Yeah.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, that's where you have your course material. That's a Moodle, yeah.
Yeah, so iNapier app gets you access to Moodle.
Mm-hmm.
You can also buy merchandise on there.
Yeah.
And Moodle has your student card on there. So when you get your student card, you'll matriculate. You'll do your matriculation first, and then you'll upload a photo, and you'll get a digital version of your student card on your iNapier app, and then you'll get your physical card in the mail.
Yeah.
And with your card, you can get discounts all over
the city, yeah.
Yeah, it's very student friendly. So I almost always ask when I go to a new place, do you guys do student discount? And a lot of the time they do.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
As one of, I think, Scott Mill. Those students.
Oh,
yeah,
do they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
Yeah, almost in other stores.
Scott Mid is a supermarket.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a question here from Alfred James. I don't think we have the answer to this question, but still Alfred Olua James from Nigeria. How can the admission team help to accept part payment of the initial payment to the school. For example, my master's degree, I'm supposed to pay 3,500 for initial payment, but I only have 2,500 for now. Please, is there any loan program for master's students? I'm afraid we're going to get back to you on that, and don't worry, we'll get back to you on it, all right? Yeah, thank you. So let's go back to our questions.
Okay, great. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, do you need to register with the police? That's something that you'll know on your, well actually let's talk about your BPR card. Is it BRP?
BRP.
BRP.
Yeah.
Your BRP card is something that comes as a result of getting your visa. So it kind of proves that you are an approved resident, legal to live here. And so after all of your visa application is processed and approved, you will choose a place in Edinburgh to pick it up. I chose a post office in the main part of Edinburgh, just off of Princess Street. Is that the same for you?
I chose Ulster. There's a post office in Ulster.
Oh.
Yeah, so when I first came here, before I even got my apartment, I went to pick my BRP immediately.
Yeah, good for you.
So I picked my BRP the same day I got here, and that was the first night before moving to my apartment. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have 10 days once you arrive here, you have 10 days to pick that up. Yeah. And on your BRP, it will tell you how much you can work. It will tell you if you need to register with the police, what kind of visa you have, and has a photo of you.
Yeah, and I think the police registration has to do with people from the eastern part of the world.
Yeah, it should indicate on your...
Yeah, to be indicated,
yeah. So in order to do that, you'll go to the Scotland's police website to make an appointment.
Yeah. And there is a question here from Arijit Modar. He wants to know, 2 of my current flatmates are graduating in October, but I'm studying 1 more year. Do you think it's a good idea to stay with non-students? I think he's a student.
Oh, to live alone?
Yeah, no, he wants to live with his, like non-students. 2 of his flatmates are graduating in October. He wants to know if he should stay with non-students or something, I don't know.
Oh, to stay with people who aren't students.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's personal preference. It might be nice to stay with students because you can kind of share in the difficulties of homework and you can kind of talk to each other about school. And
I think it's a lot easier when you stay with the students. It makes things easier. For me, I find things very difficult, like schoolwork because university work, because I stay alone and
Yeah, it was very important to me to have a flatmate because I feel like I would go crazy if I lived alone. So for myself, I needed to have somebody in the house with me, and she actually is a student as well. So she and I talk about our schoolwork and kind of relate and help each other, and I find that very helpful. So I would suggest, but you know yourself if you think you could live alone or with non-students.
All right, there's a question here from Najib Afridi. Hi, this is Najib from Pakistan. I'm coming to ENU on 18th June. We don't say ENU, we say Edinburgh Napier University here. So please tell something about accommodation, please. Something about accommodation. I think we already covered accommodation. Yeah. So go ahead and you can flip through this after we're done, and you can fast forward and listen to the part about accommodations. But if you have any specific questions, email us. Exactly. So I think we should just go back to our questions here again.
Okay, let's see. Oh, we're going to talk about getting a phone.
A phone, yeah.
Yeah, right here, a mobile phone. Yeah, so it's very different here than it is in the United States. Again, that's my experience, so I don't know what your experience is. But in the United States, you have to get a contract. It's usually a 1 year or a 2 year contract. It's very difficult to get a month-to-month contract. But here, you have the month-to-month or the contract option, and it's actually much less expensive here than it is in the United States.
Yeah, I think it's much more cheaper here than it is in Nigeria when it comes to contract. Because in Nigeria, you have to, pay a certain sum, which is very high before you can get a contract. But here it's very cheap.
Yeah,
Like
it is very
£25,
cheap.
£20, you can get a contract. Yeah.
I pay £10 a month.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is that EE?
Yeah, I'm with EE.
Okay.
There's like O2, Vodafone, GiveGaff,
like
EE. 3 is also one.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
And I wanted to get a contract because you can get a cheaper rate. Well, depending actually, because I only pay £10 a month. I have unlimited text. I have 100 talking minutes, but I really don't talk on my phone. if I talk on my phone, I'm usually using Wi-Fi. And then I have, I think, 2 gigabytes of data, which is all I never use more than that. And it's only £10, and I can cut off at any time. So it's actually really convenient. What I did is I have an iPhone, and so I got my iPhone unlocked, and then I just purchased a SIM card, and there I go.
Yeah. And there's a question here from Ogbona Shoba. Hi, my name is Offred Ashoba from Nigeria. I'm hoping to come in early to experience the more talked about French. Will it be possible to get my student ID when I come?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What was it about the French?
Yeah, he wants to come earlier to experience the French, but he wants to know if he can get his student ID when he comes.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah.
You'll have to get in touch with us. We'll find a more detailed answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
But my first impression is that you probably need to. You have to matriculate first, and you may not be able to do that.
Yeah.
Until...
Because you're not a student here until you matriculate. And when you're not a student, you cannot get your ID until you're a student, So you just have to wait until you are matriculated before you can get your ID.
Yeah. Yes. And so, but I actually haven't experienced the Fringe either, but I hear it's amazing. So you should come. I'm going to be here for the Fringe this year.
I'm going to be here as well. And there is a question here from Saha Puja. As a student, how is your experience so far?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think that question is for you.
Oh, okay. As a student, what is my experience? I did talk earlier on the video about the international aspect. That's something that stands out the most for me. I love that. As a master's student, having already gone to an undergrad, I compare it sometimes to my undergrad, which I did in the United States. And it is a little bit different, but it also, something that is a big difference is that the lecturers and the tutors expect you to be doing a lot of personal study in your own time. So you don't have a lot of class time, and in order to fulfill the assessments and the assignments that you're given, it does require you to do a lot of personal study. So keep that in mind.
Yes, that was very correct, because here you are assumed, it's different because this is another environment for us, especially if you are coming from Africa. The class time is a little bit less, like 3 hours, 6 hours a week, and the rest of the time you are supposed to read 60 hours on your own, study and do some research on your own, and that is how it is here. And for me, actually, being here as a student ambassador is one of the great things that has happened to me being here. It's a good experience because it has opened doors for me in different places, and the experience is so far very interesting, very it's interesting for me actually. Yeah,
it's been really great being a student here. Not only the university, but also living in Edinburgh is really wonderful. I'm going to miss it a lot.
Yeah. And we haven't talked about getting our insurance. Okay, no, we talked about that. Okay.
We could talk about. There was something I wanted to continue on after the cell phones.
What was that?
I don't remember what it was now. Well, we can talk about some of our favorite places to shop.
To shop, yeah.
Yeah. So. I like to shop at Aldi and Lidl for my supermarket. Those are actually German-based supermarkets, and they're very cheap. And there's also, for all you ladies, I mean men too, but for the girls, there's a store called Primark, which is very inexpensive clothes.
I haven't had anything to say about that.
Yeah, I like it.
And that's because
it's
I'm
nice.
I don't shop like that. No.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I don't have a lot of things like that because I'm not used to shopping.
Because you only carry one bag.
I just carry one bag.
From
Yeah.
international travel.
Yes,
It's backpack for you.
yeah. And usually for me, I don't like going to Primark.
Oh yeah.
I have my reserves. No. Also, there's a question here from Vanessa Georgieva. Is there a college cafeteria in the university?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of the campuses have a cafeteria.
Yeah. And which is very cheap for students. Like breakfast is like $2.50 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's inexpensive.
Yeah, there's breakfast and there's lunch as well. It's very, very cheap for students and very handy things. Very cool.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good. I like it. I guess when I think of school cafeteria, I don't necessarily think good food, but it is. I like it. I eat there often when I have classes.
Yes, there's a question here from Shelly. May I know when will I receive my cast letter? I'm from India. May I know when will I receive my cast letter? I'm from India. Okay, she wants to know when she'll be able to receive her cast letter. Okay, Shetha, we are getting back to you on that immediately, alright? So we'll send you a personal message on how to, on what or on when you get your cast letter. And there's another one from Najib Afrida. What are the important steps for international students for the first day at university?
Ooh, that's
Important steps is a very good
Yes,
question.
I would say what was important to me was being able to, knowing how to get to the university. So I would say upon arrival, go home, figure out your home situation, and then before you come to class on the first day, I would suggest taking an experimental trip. How long is it going to take you to get to the bus stop? Which bus do you need to take? Or are you walking? Are you taking a bike? Are you going to take a taxi? However you're going to get there, I would suggest that you practice once at least so that you can arrive to class on time and you don't feel so frantic.
Exactly. And for me, my suggestion is very simple. First of all, get to your apartment, and secondly, go to your to wherever you are assigned to pick up your BRP.
Oh yeah.
Then pick up your BRP, and thirdly, download the mobile app for transportation here.
Oh, Lothian
Yeah,
buses.
Lothian buses. Just
Yes.
download the app because you will need it to get around to save your money. Download the app, then buy some tickets, like £10 ticket.
Yeah, so there's two apps. There's the Lothian bus app that just shows you the routes.
Yeah.
And then there's the M tickets.
M tickets, yeah.
M tickets is where you can actually buy tickets online.
Online, yeah. And also be familiar with your Google places and the rest of them. So I think that's very important for you to do. After which you can just do other things necessary.
That will be good starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's a question here from Alfred. Oh, thank you. I'm excited. How early can I come into the UK? I understand school resumes on the 10th of September 2018. Can I come in at the start of August, which is the beginning of the fringe?
That depends. I think the visa statement gives you about 30 days prior to the start date.
Yeah.
So I think you can enter the UK probably at least in the middle of the fringe if you want to check it out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if you're keen to do that, then go ahead and do it. And there's another question here. I'm Alfred from Nigeria. Is there any way the college could help me in the loan as I have only 2,500? This guy asked before. I think we gave him an answer.
Yeah, so we'll get back to you. We'll direct you to the right person. If you have more comments, please let us know. Ask us questions. Share your own insights if you're watching and you know stuff about Edinburgh that would be useful for other students to know.
Yes, and there is a question here from Najib. Thank you so much. Is there any Edinburgh Napier cricket theme? I want to join.
A cricket team?
Yes.
I'm not sure, but you can find out. There's ENSA, it's ENSA,
Yeah.
Edinburgh Napier Student Association. They have a website with all of the teams and clubs.
Yeah, we were trying to build a cricket team at the time, but we needed like 25 people or so, and we're trying to gather people. I don't know.
We need you to come be on the team.
Yeah, you're on the team, so you come around. So, yeah. That's okay.
Okay, well, we have been happy to answer all your questions. It's been fun. Please keep in contact with us if you have more questions. If we didn't get to yours, we'll reach out to you. And yeah, thanks for joining us. It's been great.
Thank you.
Bye.